Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss a new chapter, Chapter 6, Life Processes. This chapter is included under PT2 syllabus. So now let's start the chapter. You know that living organisms are characterized by some characteristics. In that, one characteristic is that living organisms show some body movements. But if they are not showing body movements, suppose they are sleeping or taking rest, that time also living things are alive because molecular movements of various chemicals in the body take place. These molecular movements are necessary to carry out some biochemical reactions or to help in the repairing process of the damaged tissues in the body. So, what are life processes? All organisms perform some basic functions to keep themselves alive. These basic functions performed by the living organisms to maintain their life on earth are called life processes. These basic life processes are nutrition, respiration, transportation, excretion, growth and movement, and reproduction. In this chapter, we will mainly focus on nutrition, respiration, transportation, and excretion. To carry out the maintenance processes, all living organisms need to acquire energy, and this energy is derived from the food materials which are procured from the outside environment. But plants can prepare their own food. They just take the raw materials, carbon dioxide and water, from the outside environment and prepare their own food. So nutrition is a process by which the food materials are broken down into smaller particles so that blood can absorb the particles which are useful for the body and it will be utilized in further processes or to derive the energy. To break down these food particles, oxygen is required. We get this oxygen from outside the body. So the processes of acquiring oxygen from outside the body is known as respiration, which is another life process. Here the question comes, why is diffusion insufficient to meet the oxygen requirement for multicellular organisms? You know that a single-celled organism is very small in size. So the energy requirement for the single-cell organism is also very less. And the entire surface of the single-cell organism is in contact with the outside environment. So diffusion can meet the oxygen requirement of the single-celled organisms. But multicellular organisms are large in size and diffusion is a very slow process. Moreover, in multicellular organisms, all the cells may not be in direct contact with the surrounding environment. Thus, simple diffusion will not meet the requirements of all the cells. After nutrition and respiration process, the need for another life process arises, that is transportation in case of multicellular organisms. Transportation of the food materials, because in multicellular organisms, the food and oxygen are taken at one place of the body, while all parts of the body, all tissues need the food particles to get the energy. So transportation is carried out through circulatory system of blood and plasma. When the body uses carbon source and oxygen for energy generation, some useful byproducts are also formed in the body, which are needed to be removed out of the body, because if these waste products stay in the body for a longer period of time, it will be harmful for the body. So these waste products are expelled out of the body by the process of excretion, which is another life process. Now let us discuss the topic nutrition in brief. You know that there are two modes of nutrition: autotrophic mode of nutrition and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic mode of nutrition is carried out in case of green plants, because green plants, they can prepare their own food. So green plants are also known as autotrophs. In this process, the green plants take the raw materials like carbon dioxide and water from outside environment and convert them into carbohydrates in the process of photosynthesis. These carbohydrates are then utilized for providing energy to the plant. The plants can also store carbohydrates in the form of starch, because all the carbohydrates they prepare will not be used up just in one go, so they will store it for future purpose. So starch is a reserve source of energy for the plants. But in animals, we store the energy in the form of glycogen. So remember, glycogen is a stored form of carbohydrate, which is a polysaccharide in animals. Now let us discuss about photosynthetic reaction, photosynthesis reaction, and the events which occur during the photosynthesis reaction, which is in page number 96 in your textbook. In the photosynthesis reaction, 6 carbon dioxide combines with 12 water molecules in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. It is converted to glucose molecule C6H12O6 plus 6 oxygen and 6 water molecule is produced. So now let us know the events which occur during the process of photosynthesis. There are mainly 3 events which occur during photosynthesis. First of all, light energy is absorbed by the chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is present in the chloroplast of the green plants. So first event is chlorophyll absorbs the sunlight to carry out the photosynthesis reaction. Next event is conversion of light energy to chemical energy and splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. And the third step is reduction of the carbon dioxide molecule to carbohydrates, that is glucose. So these are the 3 steps which occur during photosynthesis reaction. You know that desert plants, they take carbon dioxide at night. So how they carry out photosynthesis reaction during the day? Desert plants, though they take carbon dioxide at night, they will prepare an intermediate which is activated by the energy absorbed by the chlorophyll during the day. So they will carry out the photosynthesis reaction during the day. So it is obvious that chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis reaction, and it can be demonstrated by an activity which we can discuss in the next class. Hope this video will be helpful for you to understand the main highlights of autotrophic nutrition. Read the topic nicely till I meet you in the next class. Thank you.